Hello and welcome to part 3 of our 3-part series of yoga for kickboxers. Today we are doing a really low to the ground class. We're doing another yin class where we're holding the poses for between 3 to 5 minutes. But today our focus is on the upper body because you guys are throwing all these punches and you're blocking them all, and yeah, you do a lot with your upper body. So we are going to stretch out this area today in today's class. I recommend having a block handy. You can actually do this whole class without any props, but if you have a block, then it's just handy to have in case you need it. So just pop it to the side and you may choose to utilize it through class. If you don't have a block, you can use some books, just pile a couple of books on top of one another. But like I said, you can do this whole class without blocks or props. So today we're going to begin seated, and we're actually going to begin in cowface pose. So we're going to take our left knee to the center of the mat, and then we're going to take our right knee and place it on the top. Now this pose really gets into the hips. So if this is feeling like a lot for you today and you're feeling like it's maybe a little bit uncomfortable, you can take a couple of other options. So I'm going to tell you your options to begin with before we get into it. So your first option is to extend the bottom leg and just have your right knee over top of the left leg. If this still feels like a lot for you, you can take your right foot to the mat and you can just sit up holding on to your leg. A third option is to just cross your legs in your standard easy leg pose. But wherever you are, set yourself up, get comfortable, because we are going to hold here for a few minutes. I'm just going to take my watch off so I can see the time. And then from here, we're going to take our left arm and send it up towards the sky, then turn the palm to the back of the room and just bringing that palm to the middle of the upper back. We're going to take our right arm out and we're going to send the elbow towards the mat, and we're going to either clasp our fingers behind our back or you can clasp onto your clothing, whatever feels best for you here, because this is quite a strong pose. So we're just going to hold the arms here for a couple of minutes, tuning into the body and into the breath and slowing down. You might like to close down the eyes so you can really tune in, noticing the sensations that are going on for you here. I'm just going to keep the arms like this for a further 30 seconds. Because this is quite strong on the arms, we're only going to do this for, I think it will be about 1.5 minutes all up. And then releasing the arms from here. Try not to let them fling back, but just taking your time, really mindfully releasing the arms and bringing the hands to the feet if your legs are crossed like this, or just down beside you if you have them out long. And we're going to inhale, lengthen up through the spine. We're going to exhale, sending our chest forward. And you can bring your hands in front of you, leaning over the legs. Now if you have your legs extended, you may feel better sitting up taller. But if you're in easy pose or here, then coming forward is an option for you. Keeping that right hip grounded down as you fold forward. Tuning into that breath, allowing it to be your anchor in each position. And taking 3 more rounds of breath here. Before beginning to walk yourself back up and coming up to sit. Uncrossing the legs, and we're just going to bring the soles of the feet to the mat in front of you and take your hands behind your back and just allow the legs to drop from side to side. Taking a moment in between switching to just feel and allow the body to release. And then coming back up to sit, and this time we're going to take the right leg to the center of the mat and cross the left leg over. So remembering you have many options here today, you can keep that right leg extended long, bringing that left knee just over the right knee. You could take the sole of the right foot down to the mat and you can just use your hands around your knee to sit up tall. You can take easy pose, just crossing your legs. Or finding your cowface pose with your left knee on top of the right. Sitting up tall here. And just tuning into the breath, noticing the difference in the sides because they may be quite different. And then from here we're going to take our right hand out this time, up towards the sky, turn the palm to the back of the room and bending at the elbow, bringing that right hand to the middle upper back. And then taking the left hand out beside you, sweeping it around, elbow towards the floor, and either clasping your fingers or holding onto your clothing. Breathing here. Remembering we're only a minute and a half with these arms, so just breathing into it, feeling, knowing it's strong, but it's okay, you'll get through this minute and a half. Noticing what is coming up for you as you hold here. And knowing whatever it is, it's okay. Taking that final round of breath here, preparing the body to move and releasing the hands gently and mindfully out. Bringing the hands to the feet here, lengthening up tall, or again down beside you if you have your legs long. Breathing. And then as we exhale, we're going to begin to fold forward over the legs, walking the hands forward. And knowing that at any point in time, if you come into a pose and it starts to feel a little bit strong for you, you can just back out of it a little bit, coming back up. But making each pose work for you and your body today. This is a great pose because it's also a bonus that we're getting into the hips area. I like poses where we can do 2 things at once. So we're doing the hips and we've done the arms, both at the same time. Now noticing if you're holding tension anywhere in the body, can you let that go? Use the exhales as a release to actively let go of that tension. Be mindful about it. You might not be able to completely let it go, but just even the intention of letting go is enough. And then taking those final 3 rounds of breath here. Allowing that time, these breaths, to be the preparation for moving. And then coming back up through center. You're going to uncross the legs, bringing the feet back to the mat. And we're just going to allow the knees to drop from side to side again. And coming back up to sit. And from here we're going to extend that right leg out to the side and just bringing that left sole of the foot into the right thigh. And here is where you might like to bring your block in today. We're going to do a side stretch. So your block can be a bit of a support for your elbow. Totally up to you. But you can bring it along your leg. And as we inhale, we're going to reach that left arm up and the right hand along the leg. So the left arm is coming overhead, fingertips moving towards those right toes. They don't have to touch it, but just the action of making it towards the toes and stretching through that side body and into the arm. Now your hand can come and be a rest for your head. You can take it to the block on any height here beside you, resting your head in your hand, because we want to make this as comfortable as possible here. Because we are holding for a longer amount of time, you really just want to set yourself up. So take that time to set yourself up so you are as comfortable as you can be. Now you can allow this top arm to just hang here, allowing gravity to do its thing. Or you can let it just rest over the head. Or if it feels like a bit much and you want to take that hand down in front of you, you can do that too. There are always options for making a pose work for you. You're at the halfway point here, so if you want to move that block down or even remove it out of the way, there's the option to do so. Finding what feels good for you here. Allowing that breath to anchor you in. Taking those final 3 rounds of breath here. And then when you're ready, coming up to sit. Making your way there slowly. And then crossing that right leg in and just pausing here for a moment. Allowing the body to realign. And then from here we're going to extend that left leg out, bringing that right sole of the foot in towards the inner thigh, taking your prop if you choose to today, and then reaching that right arm overhead. So again, this left elbow can come to the block on any height and be a rest for your head, and you can take that right arm overhead. You can rest it on your head, or you could rest it down on the floor in front of you. Whatever feels best for you here. Just allowing that right side of the body to get a wee stretch here. In kickboxing, you also utilize your core a lot, right? So it's good to stretch out the sides of the body and the core area. I'll do a couple of core stretches today too. And they are not activating stretches, but just gentle ones. Although this can feel quite activating. Now at this point you can either stay here or you can come in a little further, a little deeper, doing what feels best for you. And knowing that if your sides feel a little different from one to the other, then that's okay too. Just doing what feels best for you here today. Coming into our final minute here. Is there anywhere you can let go and relax? Allow the exhale to be that portal for relaxation. And taking those final 3 rounds of breath. And then mindfully coming back up to sit. Taking your time. Allowing the body a moment to readjust. And crossing that left leg in. Just pausing, noticing, and allowing. From here we're going to come over onto hands and knees, so taking your time to get there, moving in a way that feels good for you, noticing each movement as you come. And then bringing those knees in underneath the hips here. And what we want to do is keep those hips aligned over those knees, but we're going to walk our hands forward, bringing our forehead towards the mat. Now, if the head doesn't quite reach, you might take your block and allow your head to rest on the block. Or you can bring that head down to the mat. Breathing here in puppy pose. Option to stay here with your forehead on the mat, or if you want to take it deeper still, you might lift the forehead off the mat and lower the chin down. Final 3 rounds of breath here. And grounding down into the hands and into the knees, beginning to walk the hands back. Coming through tabletop just for a moment so that you can bring your toes together and your knees as wide as the mat. Sinking the hips down to the heels and folding down in child's pose. So extending those arms long again, forehead comes down towards the mat. Always an option here to take the block and under the head. Just setting yourself up so you feel as comfortable as you can here. Always coming back to that breath, allowing it to anchor you into each pose. Beginning to walk the hands back towards the body, grounding down into them to lift you up, to walk those knees together, and we're just going to counter this with a different child's pose. So knees together here, folding forward over the legs and just allowing those hands to come back behind you, palms faced up, resting here for a moment. And from here, coming up to sit, and we're going to transition to lay down on our bellies. So making your way onto your belly, and we're going to bring those elbows in underneath our shoulders for Sphinx pose. So elbows are coming in underneath the shoulders, our legs are long and just relaxed behind us, letting go through the hips, grounding down into the hands, almost as if you're trying to rip your mat apart, grounding down into them, opening up through the chest and the front body area. Now, option here is to take your block in front of you and just rest your head on the block. Like I said, we want to get as comfortable as possible in these poses today, so making them work for you. And relaxing here. Can you relax that jaw a little bit? Often as we hold these poses, our jaws can get quite tense. So just notice if that's happening and allowing it to let go. Coming into our final minute here. Noticing what is coming up for you. And on your next exhale, lowering down and bringing one hand on top of the other and just resting your head here for a moment. Now from here, we're going to extend that left arm out in line with your shoulder here. And we're going to we're going to face, we'll put our left cheek on the mat. From here, we're going to take our right hand in beside the chest and we're going to bend into our right knee, grounding down into the right hand, and we're going to roll towards that left arm. So a bit of a shoulder stretch here. So that right foot can come to the mat behind the left knee.
And the right hand can stay in front of the chest here as a support, or you might take it in behind your back. Whatever feels best for you. And just breathing here. Option to take that block in under the ear as a support under the head, if that feels best, or you can keep your head rested on the mat. Your shoulders do a lot for you in your kickboxing with your punches and your blocking. Shoulders are a big part of what keeps you safe. So it's really important to allow them time to just relax and stretch. Taking those final 3 rounds of breath. And then coming back through center. Releasing the right hand down, rolling onto the belly. And just pausing here. Bringing those arms just alongside the body here for a moment. Allowing them to relax and let go. And then extending the right arm out beside you this time, right out from that shoulder. Grounding down into the left hand, taking the right cheek to the mat. Bending through the left leg and rolling towards that right arm. So that left hand can come down in front of the chest or behind the body. Left foot down behind that right leg. Now, as always, it is normal if one side feels a little different to the other. My right side is feeling a lot tighter than my left. So just notice and allow whatever comes up to come up for you. At any point in time, you can close down those eyes. Because like when we let go of the outside senses, like the sight, we can really allow ourselves to tune into the body. Noticing what is arising and coming up. Now, I don't know about you, but at this point, as I am starting to relax, my belly is making a lot of noises. I just wanted to mention that this is extremely natural. Your body is going from that, fight or flight state to the parasympathetic nervous system slowing down and relaxing and allowing it to be a time of rest and digest. So it's really normal for the body to start making sounds, gurgling and such. Three more rounds of breath here. And then releasing the left hand, bringing it down in front of you. And slowly but surely making your way back onto your belly. And just pausing here. You can take the hands under the forehead to really just relax here a moment. And then from here, we're just going to transition onto our backs. So however you want to get there. You might just roll over onto your back. And extending the left leg long and bringing the right knee into the chest. Holding it here for a moment. Just allowing the body to adapt to this position. And we're going to take that left hand onto that right knee and extend the right arm out beside you, in line with the shoulder again. And our focus here is to keep that shoulder grounded. As we take that right knee over the left, towards the left side. Now it doesn't have to touch the ground or anything. Our focus is on this right shoulder staying on the mat. So you might take the block in under the knee as a little support. Or you could just allow gravity to do its thing and the knee just drop towards the earth. Wherever you're at today, knowing that that's perfectly fine, it's where you're meant to be. Now your gaze can come out over that right shoulder. Now at this point we're about halfway through, so if you want to lower the block, if you've used the block under your leg, you can remove it, setting yourself up for the next few minutes.
And then bringing that knee back up through center before extending it out long. Just bringing those arms down beside you and pausing here for a moment in Shavasana. Noticing the difference in the right side and the left side. And then bringing the left knee into the chest, holding and pausing here for a moment. If you use that block on the right side, you might want to swap it over for the left side. And then extending the left arm out in line with the shoulder. And taking the right hand to the left knee and bringing that left knee over the right. Now remembering that the focus is on that left shoulder and keeping that down on the mat. Gaze can come out over that left shoulder. You're at the halfway point, so if you want to lower the prop or remove it, now's the time to do so. Bringing the knee back up through center before extending it out long. Allowing those feet to just drop open, bringing the arms down beside you, palms faced up for your Shavasana. This is your time to relax and renew, allowing the body to just be.
beginning to take some bigger inhales and exhales. Wiggling through the fingers and the toes, allowing that movement to get bigger through the wrists and the ankles. Before stretching the arms overhead and taking a full body stretch. And then bending the knees and rolling to the right side. Pausing here for a moment just to find space for gratitude for your body and all the work that it does for you. And then when you're ready, coming up to sit. Bringing the hands together in front of the heart. Thank you so much for joining me today for the third and final of our yoga for kickboxing for kickboxers. I hope you enjoyed this 3-part series. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste. If you did enjoy this class, I do recommend or hope that you'll press the like button. I would also love you to subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed it and want to follow along for further series and things that we do, and hit the notification bell to see when videos drop. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.